Hello friends, welcome to Vitish Academy. Today in this presentation, we are going to solve an example on graphs of quadratic equation. So here we have to draw the graphs of x is equal to y square, x is equal to 2y square and x is equal to 3y square. So first, let us consider the equation x is equal to y square. And now let us draw a table, and here the first row gives the values for x and the second row gives the values for y. So now let us assume the different values for y and find the different values for x. So if you consider y value as 0, then we get the y value just by substituting in the equation x is equal to y square. So on substituting, we get here x is equal to 0 square. That implies we get 0 as the x value. And now let us consider y value as 1. So we get here x value as 1 whole square. That implies we get 1. And if we take the y value as 2, we get the x value as 2 whole square. That implies 4 here. And now let us assume the y value as 3. So we get x as 3 whole square. That implies 9. So let us write 9 over here. Now let us assume some negative values for y. So if we take y value as minus 1, then we get the x value as minus 1 whole square. That implies 1. And if we take the y value as minus 2, then the x value would be minus 2 whole square. That implies 4. And now let us take y value as minus 3. So we get the x value as minus 3 whole square. That implies 9. Now let us consider the next equation here, x is equal to 2y square, and let us draw the table here. So the first row gives here the values for x and the second row gives the values for y. Now let us assume the different values for y. So if we take the y value as 0, then we get the x value just by substituting in the equation x is equal to 2y square. So we get x as 2 into 0 whole square. That implies we get the value as 0. So let us write 0 over here. And then if we take the y value as 1, we get x is equal to 2 into 1 whole square. That implies 2 into 1. So we get 2 one time as 2 as the value of x. And if we assume the y value as 2, we get x is equal to 2 into 2 whole square. That implies we get 2 into 4. So on multiplying 2 and 4, we get 8. So let us write 8 over here. Now let us consider the y value as 3 here. We get the x value as 2 into 3 whole square. That implies 2 into 9. So let us write here the product of 2 into 9, which is 18, as the value for x. Now let us assume some negative values for y. So if we take the y value as minus 1, we get x as 2 into minus 1 whole square. That implies we get 2 into 1. So by multiplying 2 one time is 2. So we get here the x value as 2. Now let us consider the y value as minus 2. So we get x as 2 into minus 2 whole square. That implies we get 2 into 4. So we get 2 4 times as 8. Now let us take the value of y as minus 3. So we get x as 2 into minus 3 whole square. That implies 2 into 9. So by multiplying 2 and 9, we get 18 as the value of x. Now let us consider the last equation, x is equal to 3y square. So let us find the values of x by assuming the different values for y. So first, let us take the y value as 0. So we get the x value just by substituting in the equation x is equal to 3y square. So we get here x is equal to 3 into 0 whole square. That implies 0. So let us write 0 over here. And if we take the y value as 1, then we get x is equal to 3 into 1 whole square. That implies we get 3 into 1. So we get 3 one time is 3. So let us write 3 over here. Then now let us consider the y value as 2. So what would be the x value? So we get here x as 3 into 2 whole square. That implies 3 into 4. So on multiplying 3 and 4, we get here 12 as the value of x. And now let us take some negative values for y. So if we take y value as minus 1, then we get x as 3 into minus 1 whole square, which would be 3 into 1. So on multiplying, we get 3 as the value of x. And here, if we consider the y value as minus 2, then x value would be 3 into minus 2 whole square. That implies 3 into 4. So on multiplying, we get here 3 into 4 as 12. And now let us represent all these three quadratic equations in the form of graph. So first, let us consider the scale of x-axis as 2 units and the scale of y-axis as 1 unit. So first, let us mark the points for the equation x is equal to y square. So we have here the first order pair as 0, 0. So it is a point where the x-axis and y-axis meet. Then we have the next order pair as 1, 1. So it is a point over here. Let us mark. Then we have the next order pair as 4, 2. So we get a point over here. Then we get a point for the ordered pair 9, 3 somewhere here. Now let us mark a point for the ordered pair 1, -1 over here in the fourth quadrant. So then we have the next ordered pair as 4, -2. So we get a point over here. So we have the last ordered pair here as 9, -3. So let us mark a point over here. And now let us join all these 3 points. We get a C-shaped curve, which is the curve of the parabola of x is equal to y square. And now let us plot the points for the equation x is equal to 2y square. So we have the first order pair as 0, 0. So it is a point over here. Then the next order pair is 2, 1. So we get a point somewhere here. So let us mark it. Then let us mark a point for the ordered pair 8, 2 over here. And then we get a point over here for the ordered pair 18, 3. Then we get here a point for the ordered pair 2, -1. And let us mark the point for 8, -2 over here. Then we have the last ordered pair here as 18, -3. So we get a point over here in the fourth quadrant. Now by joining all these 3 points, we get a curve of the equation x is equal to 2y square. And now let us represent the last equation x is equal to 3y square in the graph sheet. So we have the first order pair here as 0, 0. So we get a point over here. Then let us mark a point for the ordered pair 3, 1 over here. Then we have the next ordered pair as 12, 2. Then we get a point somewhere here. Now let us mark a point for the ordered pair 3, -1 in the fourth quadrant somewhere here. Then we have the next ordered pair as 12, -2. So we get a point somewhere here. So on joining all these points, we get a curve of the equation x is equal to 3y square. And now let us discuss some important features of the curve of the form of x is equal to my square. So we observe that the curve of the form x is equal to my square intersect at the origin and lies in the first and fourth quadrant and symmetric about the x-axis. So this was a basic introduction on how to solve such examples on the graphs of quadratic equations. Hope you understood the concept. Refer to more videos on our website vtshacademy.com. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.